Alright, so today we'll be looking at icons and text box in MS Word. Please, if you've not subscribed to our channel, kindly subscribe to our channel and like our videos. Also comment on our videos. These are also features that you can use in the course of creating your document or editing your document in MS Word. So let's kickstart. Alright, so if you need graphics for your project, take for instance you're working on a particular document, and in that document there are certain graphics you need. Maybe you need graphics of maybe male, maybe you need graphics of female in terms of gender, maybe you need graphics like car, maybe you need graphics like house. Most times the common thing we do is to go begin to download these pictures, and then we will copy them into our document. But instead of doing that, Office Suite comes with a feature that is called icons, and there is a very broad range of libraries of these icons depending on the one you want to use in the particular project or document you are working on. So now, how do you insert icon into your document? To insert icon into your document, first you click on the Insert tab. When you click on the Insert tab, the ribbon that display, you will see the icon feature or the icon toolbar. When you click on that icon toolbar, it will display a wide range of libraries depending on the one you want. You will see libraries for people, technology, you will see commerce, you will see art. There are a lot of them. You will see those different libraries display. Like as you can see, this first one is home, this is technology and electronics, this is interface, travel, just depending on what you want. Microsoft 365 makes a whole lot of these graphics available to you. So take for instance, I'm trying to create a document, and I need something that looks like male figure. I need something that looks like a male figure in the document. I can simply search for it, but if I want to save the time, I can just go to this search for icon, click on it, and I will type in, let me say, man. You would see it pop up different icon that can be used to represent a man in my document. So let me just pick this, and when you select the icon, you click on insert, and the icon will be inserted into your document. So this is the icon already inserted into the document, and like you can move the icon to anywhere you want it to be depending on the layout option that you choose. So if I choose a layout option like let me pick through. If I pick a layout option like through, I can move the icon anywhere I want it to be. And apart from just moving it, you can actually customize this icon. You can customize the size, you can customize the color, you can customize virtually even the outline. You can customize it. So take for instance, this is not the size I want it smaller, all I will do is just to click on any of the points that I ran the icon and drag. When you drag, it will reduce it to what you want it to be. So I'll move it to where I have the male in the text, and I will also go get another one. Let me get one for female. Insert icons, so that we can see how we can work on them in our documents. I will just search for female. So let me pick this and insert. Similar, you can as well choose the layout. I want to choose the through so that I can move it as I want. Then I also want to resize to the size that suits the document I am actually working on. So now we are already customizing it. Besides just customizing it by changing the size, you can also change the color. So let me assume I click on this. You can see here you have graphic fill. You can see graphic fill. You can see graphic outline. Those are two things you can work with. There are still other things you can work with here, but most times you will be almost fine when you work with this. So there are still other formatting options I will show to us, but let's just first of all change the color. So what do? You click on this graphics fill. Depending on the color you want your man to have, I want my man to have a kind of orange, not actually this kind of orange. I want it to be a kind of fair skin. I want it to be a kind of fair skin, not just like orange. Let it just be a kind of fair skin, not too dark, but just like a fair skin. So I will click OK. You can now see that our man is now having a kind of our color. Now we can also adjust the color for the woman. Let's just make the woman also have a kind of a fair skin, but more fairer than the man, but not too fair. So when you click on OK, you can see the male, the female. You can also work on the outline. As you can see, the outline here is showing that it is white, but you can choose to work on the outline. If you come here and click on graphics outline, you can choose a color. I just want to pick black for my outline. You can see that the outline has turned black. Let me zoom it in so that you can see it. You can see the outline has turned black. So you can actually choose any color for your outline. So these are ways you can actually customize your icon. Now you can actually break an icon into several parts. Because some icon can be broken down into several or separate parts, allowing you to edit each of the individual parts individually for further customization. What do? You would select the convert to shape. If you look at this top here, you will see a toolbar, or should I call it a command, convert to shape. When you click on it, there are other ways also you can work on. You can get that particular option when you select the image. Sorry, before I go on, let me Ctrl Z. I want to zoom the image out. Okay, let me pick this one and use it. So you can see as I pick on this image, when I click on it, you would see that it's picking everything as a whole. There is no separation on it. When I right click, I go to convert. Are you seeing it? Convert to shape. You can use it to actually break the icon into separate parts. So if I click on it, this particular icon now has been broken into separate parts. How do I know? I will click on them and you will see that it will not pick all of them as a whole. It will pick just them each one by one. So you can see it has picked this one as a single shape. You can see it has picked this one as a single shape. You can see it has picked this one as a single shape. So you can actually break your icon and you can choose to give them different looks. So this one, I can click on it and still double click. I can go to my shape. I can double click on this. I go to my shape fill. I can choose black. Then I drag this back again into it. Then for this, I can give it any color I want. I can click this and I can choose which color is very close and beautiful. Okay, I can pick it like this. You can see that I have actually converted it to what I want it to be. Now, beside breaking it into separate parts, you can still also merge them or group them so that all of them can be uniform the way they were before you broke them. So how do you go about that? You click on them one after the other, and then while you put your hand on the shift button on your keyboard, you click on them one after the other, and after you selected all of them, you right click and you will see group option here. Then you click on group and all of them will go back again to be a single icon. You can reduce it to the size that suits what you actually want, and afterwards you can position it back again in the position where you want it to be. So you can see we have succeeded in doing in recustomizing the graphics to what we actually want it to look like. So there are also a lot of things. You just need to play around these things, because it's when you play around them you get more insight into how they operate. So the next thing we are going to look at now is to look at Textbox. We want to look at Textbox. There are times whereby the document you are designing, you actually want to make it carry a whole lot of different fragments. You actually want to make it show different designs. Like sometimes some of us, when we are doing our design of our curriculum vitae, that's our CV, sometimes we want it to be so customized in such a way that different details can be well aligned in the single document. How do you go about that? You go about that by doing inserting different text bars into your document, and by doing that you'll be able to achieve a seamless document like the way you see this looks like. So let's do a practical of it as we continue. So now I want to introduce text bars and shapes. I will introduce text bars and shapes so that you can see how your document can actually be turned into a very beautiful stuff with these features in MS Word. So what do? You go to insert. On the insert ribbon you will see the shapes toolbar. When you click on the drop down, it will bring to you a variety of shapes that you can actually work with. So but our focus is this text box, but I first of all want to introduce a shape before I introduce the text box. So let me bring in this shape. The reason why I'm bringing in the shape is because I want the shape to achieve a background. I want to use the shape to achieve a background for the document. So you can see what I'm doing. I just want a shape that will give me a kind of background that I will work on. So you see the way I brought in the shape that I'm using now. You can also change the color. You can change the color if you want to. You can change the color of the background by just clicking on it. Then you go to shape fill. You can as well choose any color, any one that you find best, and you can also remove any color. You can even make a picture. You can choose a picture to be what, the background, but that is not our focus. We'll do shape some other time. So now I'll go back to my insert and I will click on the shape. Then I will click on my text box. So with this, I can customize the flow of my text the way I want it to be. I can customize the flow of my text just as I want it to be. So just see what I'm saying. The way you can do your normal editing of your text, you can actually do it so by changing the text size. You can choose the size that suits what you actually want using your, you can also change the font to what you actually want, and you can see with the help of what, a text box, you can bring in it as many as you want, provided it's serving the purpose of why you need it. So you can see you can insert another. So that is what, how to insert the text box. Now, beside putting in data into your text box, this text box, you can also move it. You can also move it. When you go to the particular edge where you have those points, you will discover that the insertion cursor view changes into a 4-arrow cursor view. At that point, you can click on it and drag it. You can actually drag it to anywhere you want it to be. And besides dragging it to anywhere you want it to be, you can see that as I dragged it here, it's now covering this particular previous text I have entered. You can also adjust the layer. You can adjust the layer of your text box. You can choose the one to go behind. You can choose the one to be at the front. How do you do that? You can just simply right click and then you go to where you have send to back. When you click on that send to back, it will give you this further option: send to back, send backward, and send behind text. Each of them have their different functionality. When you say send to back, it will just go straight to be part of the background of the document you are working on. If you click send to back, it will just move a layer backward. It will move just a layer backward. Then if you say move behind text, it will only move behind the text, but it will not move behind the text box layer. So let's try just this one, the send behind and the send behind text. So now this is what we will do. Let's click on send backward. You will see now that it has moved backward. Let me change the color. You can as well change the color to whatever color you want. So you see now that this particular text box is now, is now behind of what, the first one, because we moved it backward. So that is how you go about doing adjusting the layer of your text box. In case you have more than that and you still want to use it for design, like I can use this actually for design. I can move it and give it a little design like this, so that when you see it, you will just be seeing it as if it is a design, but not knowing that it is what, text box that I have put behind of another text box. So these are a lot of things you can do. Actually, you can also adjust the size of your text box. You can drag it to be bigger. Like if I click on this one now, I can go to the resizing point and drag, and you can see it becomes bigger. I can also reduce it and it will become what, smaller. So that is, you can carry out this with on your text box. So these are the things you can actually do. Another thing again is that there are other functions here like the shape style. If you look at this, where you have ABC and the like, when you click on it, whatever that theme looks like with the background and the text color, like this one has a blue background and a white text color, this one has a black background and a white text color, this one has what, a green border with a black text on a white background. So depending on the one you want that suits you, you can actually make a choice. There are a whole large styles here you can make choice from. So these are ways actually you can work with what, your text box. There are still other things. You can even apply effects. There are other things you can actually do here with your text box. So your text box gives you a kind of control of how you want text to be displayed within your document. So this is the aspect that I wanted us to consider today, how you use the icons. Even now you can bring in an icon. You can even bring in an icon into this document as you are working on it. So we looked at how to bring in your icon into the document and how to adjust the icon within your document in terms of changing the color, in terms of breaking the icon into different parts for you to make use of it. In terms of adjusting the size, you can actually do all that. And even in the text box, you can also bring in your icon. So this is my icon. I can choose how I want my icon to, the layout of my icon to be. So you can see that as I put the icon in the text box, you can see I can carry out whatever I want to carry out within of the with the icon as it is in the text box. I can move it as I want to move it to where I want it to be, and I can also crop it. I can adjust it. A lot of things I can do with it. So that is what we have to consider today. I don't know if there is any question so that we can look into it before we eventually wrap up. And then there's something I still want to say before I finally wrap up. You know, you can as well change you can change the shape of the text box. You can actually change the shape of your text box. So assuming now this is a text box here, and I want to, it's looking like it is a square, or should I say a rectangular stuff. I can actually change the shape of my text box. So how do we go about that? You know, you see here you have edit shape at the top here. You will see edit shape. When I click on the drop down, it will give me a menu and it will say change shape, edit point. You can actually have that kind of a control. So if I want to change that shape from being a rectangular stuff to something that is like a let me change it to this teardrop, you will see now that our shape has changed. You can as well change it into a circle, just depending. All the shapes are here at your own discretion. Any one you think you want it to look like. Look at this now, I've changed it. So you can actually adjust your text box and still be able to type into it and adjust your typing as you want it to be. Please, if you have not subscribed to our channel, kindly subscribe to our channel and like our videos. Also comment on our videos.